celebration of Jim Goodfellow in his retirement, celebrating his 31, right? Is that right? 31 years at OPRF. I've only been a part of his team I've been here 7 years. And it's been just an amazing, wonderful time to be able to have a teammate like Jim. At times, I hope you're okay with me saying this, fatherly. Is that okay? At times, just learning a ton from him. He teaches.
That's safe.
Okay. Safe. He teaches at Concordia and a number of places, and I think it's just great that he continues to learn as he is nearing retirement. He's continuing to learn every single year. He's been an inspiration to me. One of the things I love best about Jim is, first of all, his enthusiasm for what he does, the passion he has for the students, and most of all, his holistic approach. To really, rather than just being a dean, I feel like Jim's really a counselor, and that's what his degree is in, and I think it shows every day that I work with him. And it's just been a joy, and I just can't imagine how it's going to be, honestly, next year without him. So, and I know that my teammates feel the same way. And I know we're not going to say anything sad to make people cry. I'm going to turn the table over to Mr. Silver here, who's going to give his own speech.
Who's going to do everything opposite so that they go
Jeez, I'm a dean. You think I can command a crowd? Let's quiet down. I don't normally write down speeches. I do things impromptu, but for Mr. Goodfellow, I had to write some things down.
Thank you.
Yeah, and we'll kind of do a happy medium between the NC-17 and the Sappy G version. So here we go. I remember the first time I met Jim Goodfellow. I was a first-year teacher. I carried a huge plate into the faculty cafeteria on Pasta Wednesday. Pasta made without love or smile. I went to sit down, and Jim came walking by. He stopped in his tracks and he eyeballed me. He didn't really introduce himself. He simply said, "How are you going to eat that and then go teach?" He then proceeded to his table and ate his pasta. I didn't see much of Jim for the next 5 years. I sent a kid to him once for farting in my class. Pretty sure that was a gross misconduct 3. Funny thing, when I went back to get my administration degree a few years back, the question I most frequently received was, "What is your ideal job? What will you go for with your degree?" And I consistently told people, "Well, this Goodfellow guy is retiring in 2013. I'd love to be a dean." I can't tell you how grateful I am that this did not play out exactly like that, and I was able to spend this year with Jim. Jim was laid up with knee surgery at the beginning of the year, so I did not have a chance to see much of him until September. I vividly remember one of our first of many conversations. He called me into his office and it went something like this. "I think you're doing a really good job. I think you're going to be a great dean. I'm just worried you're going to have a stroke." Between pants and wiping away some sweat, I dared to ask him why. And Jim replied matter-of-factly, "You're white as a ghost. You need to relax." Truth is, if it weren't for Jim, I would not have taken that advice and been able to execute it. Much as this year has been trial by fire, Jim has been my comic relief, my compass, my mentor, and a combination of my inappropriate older brother, father, perverted uncle figure. I could spend the next hour going over Goodfellowisms and classic one-liners. Long sacks, potty jokes, ankles, the simple word "oh," $3,000 bite bets. "Sharon, I spilled coffee, get in here." Okay, I have to tell one classic Goodfellow story. Earlier this year, Jim was writing a letter of recommendation for a colleague. He needed to access Wi-Fi on his personal iPad to print the letter. So Jim waltzed down to IT to get some help. He was forewarned that they might not be so accommodating. But unlike Luton, this did not deter Jim. He walked in, and expectedly, they asked him if it was a personal iPad. Once he confirmed it was, they told him in a standoffish manner that they couldn't help him. So Jim proceeded to stare at all of them and launch into his infamous pirouette middle finger jamboree. He then asked, what happened to this place? It used to be a pleasure to work here. We were all a family. Even the classic Jim that emanates from this story must not mask just how effective his ways were. Not an hour later, I needed help in the camera room on a case. I called IT and two of them threw everything down and came to assist me. Yet another way that Jim keenly paved the way for those who followed him. Jim, there are so many things I will miss about working with you. But our Godfather Part 2 texting marathons, our White Sox games, our tag team texts on the old bald-headed motherfucker, pardon my language.
That would be me, buddy. What other name that goes in there?
It rhymes with H. Our laughs and our friendship will continue. Finally, let me end on this. I thought I wanted to be a psychologist back in the day. Then I shifted my focus to the law. I wanted to be a lawyer or a cop. I tried teaching, thought I might have found my calling. It wasn't until I met Jim Goodfellow this past year that I finally figured out what I want to be. I hope I can be half as good as you were. There's no more appropriate name for you than your family name. Jim, you crazy bastard, this one's for you.
Thank you for coming here. And I meant every word I said in my speech tonight.
Yeah.
You know.
And somebody's got to stop the calamity at that school before all the good ones leave, and or somebody gets hurt again like Rich did a week ago. But, you know, it's sad that I have to be serious right now. But I couldn't invite everybody because we didn't have room here. And this is the, you know, this is the people I wanted to spend my time with. And I really enjoy everybody's smile, hug, inspiration, jokes. And I can honestly say, because my wife's been asking me, why aren't you looking happier? And I can honestly say that the impasse was the speech. I feel really different now. I feel kind of released from a burden. I feel like there's something spiritually bad going on with me. I couldn't even enjoy anything the last 4 or 5 months. But I really feel different now. And I'm really happy that all these people are here to experience that with me now. So you guys are great. I don't want this to be anywhere near the last time I see you. And thanks for just being there. And if I offended anybody over the years. Offended anybody over the years? I apologize, but I half meant it. Because we gotta be honest with each other. You gotta be honest. And if it takes an offense,
So be it.
So be it. And you know, Elisa and Janelle, they get their hair done every week, you know? they came in with a new do. I told them how I liked it or didn't.
He hates this one.
We had, over the course of time, like some 150 dues. So like, no, change that next week. But I had it, that's how I share my love.
Oh, that's good.
So,
You come back as a black woman and you
so, cheers.